You're watching Kettle Messages Tarot with your Oracle and Reader the GEMSTAR. It's time to spill some intuitive tea together again. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. Reach out to the GEMSTAR for your own personal private reading at kettlemessagestarot.my.canva.site. The link is in the description box below. Now let's shuffle the cards and spill the tea. Hello and welcome once again to another live on Kettle Messages Tarot. I'm your Oracle and Reader the GEMSTAR, and we're going to shuffle the cards and spill the tea on what truth won't be hidden any longer. Let's see what is coming out to the light at this time. What is it that Spirit and the cards want to share with us at this time? We want to thank you all for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing, joining our sacred space and welcoming us into yours. I'm your Oracle and Reader the GEMSTAR, and I'm here to spill the general tea. So let's take a sip. Hello and welcome back to another intuitive spilling of the general tea. This is a anyone, anytime type of reading. So let's see what truth won't be hidden for much longer. What's gonna be coming out in the coming days? What is being exposed? Whose truth? What truth is coming out? What are we dealing with at this time? What do we have to brace ourselves for? What's this truth being revealed at this time? What's coming out in the couple of days ahead? Okay, so somebody is about to lose their crown. Somebody is about to lose their status, their place, their crown, their equilibrium. There's some type of injustice going on, or somebody is feeling like some injustice is being done to them. So I guess the truth that's going to be revealed in the next couple of days that comes out is going to make somebody feel like they really haven't gotten their justice or their due in a situation. And though they're sitting in a nice spot, you got your crown on, you're sure, you're confident, you're courageous, and you're large and in charge. But something happens within the next couple of days that someone here feels wronged by a person, wronged by a system, wronged by an industry. There's some action that is being taken which makes somebody feel like there's a lack of fairness in a situation. So let's see where this is going. This truth that's being revealed, somebody here is feeling real good about themselves, about a situation, and then something comes out within the next couple of days that makes somebody feel like something isn't fair, something isn't right. They have been done an injustice, or they're not receiving their justice. And this can be by a person, by an organization, by a society, by an industry, by a club. But someone here is starting off in a nice, cozy spot, feeling secure, feeling confident. And then, boom, something flips on its head. Okay, somebody's gonna start feeling like a victim. That's confirmation of somebody feeling like there's some injustice going on, some conspiracy, some dirty tricks going on, and somebody is going to be feeling left helpless. But even though somebody's left feeling helpless, you still have free will. You can change a situation if it's not to your liking, if it's not something you want. You can get out of the situation. You can negotiate a situation. You can argue a situation. So someone here is feeling like a victim, feeling helpless, after feeling sure about something, and then just finding out that they've been stabbed in the back, or they have been done dirty. The lone wolf. Okay, as we said, somebody's feeling done dirty by a group, by a society, by a person, by a situation. And this week, whatever comes out in the next couple of days is going to make somebody pack up their bags, go in another direction, go on their own, cut somebody off, or walk away from somebody. Somebody's feeling alone, unsupported in a situation. So I feel like whoever's tuning into this tea right now, you felt like you had support. You felt like you had camaraderie, team spirit. You felt like you were sitting pretty or in a good position in a situation or in a relationship. And then somebody does an injustice. Somebody does something unfair, unkind. Somebody wrongs somebody here. That person is left feeling like a victim, while another person is feeling like they're on top of the world, and the other person now is feeling excluded, feeling exiled, feeling isolated, feeling like a lone wolf. Someone here hurt someone, and while they're sitting pretty, somebody else has been hurt. So somebody has taken somebody down to either make themselves look better, feel better, or be in a better position than someone else. So someone here, the truth that's coming out is that you're dealing with a Judas or a couple of backstabbers here. And while they're going to be sitting pretty, they're going to throw somebody else under the bus. They're going to do somebody wrong here. That person is going to feel exiled. Is going to feel like an outcast. Is going to feel alone, unsupported. They've been thrown out with the baby with the bathwater. The baby has been thrown out with the bathwater. The clothes have been thrown out. Okay. All right. So the truth that's coming out here is that there's certain people that are saying, you're not like us. You don't belong with our group. You don't belong with us. In order for you to be part of this society, be part of this industry, be part of this group, you need to change. So someone here needs to change in order to fit into a group, into a society, into a club, into a relationship. And because they refuse to change, they stay true to themselves. This is the reason why somebody's being exiled, canceled, eliminated, ignored, left out in the cold, left out on their own, because someone here refuses to have a pack mentality, refuses to be part of the matrix, refuses to go along to get along, refuses to hide who they truly are just to fit in. Someone here wants to be accepted for who they are, and whoever they want to be accepted by doesn't want to accept them for who they are. They want them to change. They want them to have a pack mentality. They want them to go along to get along. So someone here wants someone else to fall in line, do as they're told, be who they are being told to be, act the way they are being told to act, speak the way they are being told to speak. It's like somebody here wants to be somebody else's puppet master, and somebody is saying, nobody is my master. I'm no one's puppet. I refuse to change myself in order to fit in order to be accepted, in order to be loved. I should be accepted for who I am. And they see that they're trying to play on somebody's empathy, somebody's compassion, somebody's love. And they think that this is going to make the other person change. But the other person who is not giving in to this king or queen here is saying, I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be on my own than be somebody's victim, than be somebody's whipping boy, than be somebody's puppet. I don't want to be part of anybody's life or anybody's group or society. If I have to change myself, if I can't show up authentically. And somebody was really excited about being in this relationship, being in this friendship, being in this group, this company, this society. But now that they see the truth, that they're going to have to change themselves in order to be a part of this, they're having second thoughts. And this is unfair. At least this is the way a person sees it. It's unfair that I'm not accepted simply because I won't change myself in order to fit in order to be loved, in order to be liked. And whoever's feeling like that, they know that these people or this person is not going to change. They're not going to change. You got to accept this person's rules, what this person is saying, if you want to be part of the club, if you want to be part of their life. And someone else is saying, well, as heartbreaking as it is, as unfair as this is coming off, I'm going to have to opt out. I'd rather be alone than be taken advantage of or be treated poorly or like somebody's my master. And someone here is saying, I have so much to offer. I have so much to offer. Someone should be looking at my achievements, my successes, but I'm not being seen for my accomplishments or my achievements. I'm only simply being looked at as a tool for someone else's benefit, for someone else's gain, for someone else's game. So this is why somebody feels duped, somebody feels like a situation is unfair. That's like when you apply for a job and you have the education, the skills, the employment history to back up your worth, and because you don't look a certain way, or you don't speak a certain way, or you don't act a certain way, someone here is passing judgment and saying, well, we don't want you here. We don't want you part of this team. Or I don't want you in my life. I don't see you as a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, a friend. Who cares? Who cares about your achievements and your successes if you don't do as you're told? If you don't do as you're told. Oh my goodness. It's like it doesn't matter how special you are, what you've achieved, what your successes are, what you bring to the table. If you don't fall in line and you don't do as you're told, then you're not accepted. And somebody feels like this is a stab to the chest, because that person deep down inside, the person who is rejecting the other person, is jealous, is hateful. Yeah, maybe they don't want you part of this group or this society because you would outshine them. That's confirmation, as we're saying. You have a lot of successes, a lot of achievements. You have a lot going on, okay? You stand out. You a superstar in your own right. And you're saying, I would be a great addition to this industry, to this company, to this society, to this relationship, because look at everything I can bring to the table. And somebody doesn't want to hear it. They're just like, we just want people pleasers. We just want yes men. We just want people who fall in line. We just want people who do what they're told. We don't want people who can think for themselves. We don't want people who have their own feelings or emotions or successes or achievements here. What we care about is, are you going to do what we tell you to do? Are you going to fall in line? When I tell you to do something, you are going to do it. And this is because deep down inside, they have some jealousy and some hatred towards another person. And they don't want to be outshined. They don't want you part of this group because you probably would outshine them. You're showing up wearing a crown, dressing how you like, speaking how you like, and you're standing out. And they want you to dim your light so that they can continue to shine. They don't want you to be a leader. They want you to be a follower. That's the truth that's coming out. Someone here was all welcoming at first. Like, yes, come into this love relationship with me. I'm going to love you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to honor you. Or come into this industry, come into this group, society, company. And once you show up as who you truly are, you stand out. You shine. And because you shine, because you stand out, somebody else here is feeling intimidated. They don't want to give up their crown. They don't want to give up their throne. They don't want to share the spotlight. And they know that if they're in a relationship with you, with all these achievements and successes and accolades you have, you might stand out. You know, people who meet you together may even tell you, you know, what you're doing with this person. You have so much going on. Why you wound it up with him, or why you wound it up with her? And that other person doesn't want to hear that, right? They don't want you to join this industry, this group, this company, because you shine. You might wind up taking their position, their place. You might take away the attention that they're receiving at this time. So you're not being rejected because you're not good enough. You're being rejected because you are good enough, because you got too much going on, and you just might wind up stealing somebody else's spotlight. And this is the truth that's going to be exposed within the coming days. You're not being casted out or rejected because you're not good enough, okay? Or you don't have what it takes. You have it all. You're the total package. And because somebody feels intimidated by that, then they shun you. They reject you. They cast you out. They put you down. And someone here says, you know what? I'd rather be a lone wolf. I'd rather be alone than in bad company. I'd rather be on my own and make my own group, my own society, my own friends, instead of molding myself and contorting myself and changing myself in order to be accepted, loved, or to fit in. Good for you, because somebody here is simply rejecting you because you outshine them. Somebody's rejecting somebody else because they're outshining the other person. So you're seen more as a threat to their throne, to their spot, to the attention they're receiving at this time. Yeah, see? Okay. So unlike the second person coming out in the reading, where they have dignity and pride and they won't settle for a relationship or situation that in order to belong, they have to change themselves. The other person here who is saying no, casting somebody out, saying you don't belong here, it's because they are attention seekers. They are codependent. They need this group in order to have an image. They need this group for status. They need this group in order for them to feel important, to feel like they've achieved somebody. While another person here is saying, I don't need anyone to validate me because I validate myself. The other person is saying, yes, I need to be validated. I need these friends. I need this group. I need these people. And I can't allow you to be part of our team or part of this connection because you will wind up taking my place or outshining me or taking the attention away from me. Wow. So someone here is super dependent, protecting their position by trying to leave somebody else out. Because God forbid you take their attention. Confirmation. Honor your growth. There is no shame in having wisdom, understanding, facing fears, growing, changing. As we said, you are an emotionally evolved person, an intelligent person. Whoever tuning into this reading who will not bow down or change themselves to fit in, to belong, to be loved, is wise beyond their years. That's why they say, I don't need to be part of this relationship or this group in order to feel important, in order to feel like I'm a somebody, while the other person does. And this can happen in a relationship where someone doesn't want other people hanging around their partners because the other person might be younger, might be prettier, might be smarter, might have more achievements, might have more success. They might look more attractive to their current partner, and so they feel like their partner will be stolen from them, or the attention will go on to someone else. This also can be on a work front where somebody wants to push you out, or somebody wants to exclude you because they don't want you to be seen, because they don't want you to move up the ladder of success, or they don't want you to get the attention because at this time they're the ones getting the attention. But that's because they codependent. They need it. These people are attention seekers. They need this attention. Unlike the other person coming out in this tea where they rather be alone than change themselves for anybody else. You see, embracing that shadow. See, somebody here is dealing with their shadow. That's the ego. And that's them. That's them. Codependent, maybe even on drugs, or maybe they just get high off of getting attention from others. This person is very dependent on other people. They don't feel valued, or they don't feel worthy, or they don't feel like they're on top of the world unless they're the center of attention, unless everybody is circling them and talking about them, or talking to them, just them. God forbid. See, toxic. That's why someone here is saying, I'd rather be alone. I don't need to be part of this group. I don't need to be in this relationship where somebody here is a control freak, controlling, possessive, egotistical, narcissistic. This person is toxic. They're toxic. They're jealous. They drain people. So they're not only codependent and attention seekers, but they're energy vampires too. They feed off of the group. They feed off of their partners. They feed off of their friends. That's why they need this constant attention. They need people circling around them. And that's why they don't want you around. That's right. They don't want you around because you're too powerful. Your light shines too bright. And it will just blast their shadow right away. Just blast them away with their shadow. Because you're too smart. You have too much wisdom. Too much success. You've grown too much. And this person is still a child. Is still emotionally immature. Is still emotionally dependent on others. Wanting attention, needing attention, seeking attention, feeding off of others achievements and successes. Because what? They're toxic. They're toxic and they're codependent. And God forbid they have to share the limelight. You know that saying that there's enough to go around for everybody. But this person doesn't see that. For them, there's not enough to go around because they want it all. They want to covet it all. And this is the injustice. Because somebody here is not being casted out because they've done something wrong. They're being casted out or rejected because they're true to themselves. They're authentic. They don't need to brag about themselves. They just need to show up as themselves. And someone else here is not being themselves. They're weak. They're codependent. They're toxic. They're jealous. They're jealous and toxic and codependent. Toxic, jealous, codependent, and they want to push other people out, silence other people. That's why at the beginning, someone here was saying in the tea, well, if you don't change, or if you don't fall in line, or if you don't do as you're told, then you can't stay, you can't come, you can't belong, you can't join, because they need to have control. They need to have the control over you in order to feed off of you. And since they see they can't do that to the other person here, showing up authentically, wise, fearless, refusing to be anybody's puppet, anybody's victim, refusing to give in to somebody's toxicity, somebody's jealousy. Somebody here is saying, I don't have time for that nonsense. I'd rather be alone than in bad company. I'd rather be on my own than hide my true self or dim my light or make myself less than so you can feel powerful, so you can feel full of yourself. This is the truth that is not gonna be hidden for long. Finding out why someone doesn't want you in their life, in their company, in the industry, in the group, in the society, in the relationship. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're not handsome or beautiful or smart or capable. None of that. It's simply because you're too authentic, you're too real, you have your own mind, your own opinions, you speak for yourself, you do you, and because this person is not in that energy, they can't show up authentically, they don't have this capability for themselves, they have to feed off of others, ride the coattails of others, name drop in order to feel important. This is why somebody's being rejected. This is why the unfairness came out at the beginning of the tea, because it is unfair to push someone out or to keep someone out or to tell somebody you can't enter here simply for who they are. Not because they're not smart, they're not successful, they're not well-to-do, they're not kind, they're not handsome, they're not beautiful, they're not, whatever. Only because if I allow you in or I make you part of my life, you're gonna take all the attention away from me. It's gonna be about you, and it's no longer gonna be about me. That's the truth being spilled. Let us know in the comment section what's your situation. And to reach out to the GEMSTAR for your own personal private reading, my description is in the description box below. Until we sip tea together again, may you have a blessed one. Ciao. Stay authentic. Stay true to yourself. Don't be anybody's puppet. And don't try to fit in places that are just too small for your light. Ciao. Support your content creators. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And to receive your own personal private reading, book it at our website, kettlemessagestarot.my.canva.site. in the description box below.